Hello, and welcome to another daily encouragement. Can you imagine a world without KFC? That very famous fried chicken. The restaurants are everywhere, all over the world, and of course, here in this country. And during normal days, you'll find it very, very difficult to find a place to sit inside. Every weekend, it seems to be packed with families buying fried chicken. It has become very much part of our fabric of Malaysian society. But what would have happened if Colonel Sanders did not go that way? What if Colonel Sanders never came up with that particular recipe for fried chicken? Where would we be then? As we look at the next two lines in Isaiah chapter 43, verses 18 to 19, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. We talked about leaving behind certain things in our lives so that we can move forward. Now we are looking at the next two lines. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? As the prophet Isaiah speaks to the people of Israel, he's encouraging them to forget the former things. He is reaching back in their consciousness all the way to Exodus, in fact, and to the miracles that God showed them as he set them free. 10 plagues on the people of Egypt, 10 ways that God delivered them, going through the Red Sea, providing for them in the desert, seeing the cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night, seeing God come down and speak to Moses, all of those fantastic, glorious things that were happening actually seemed very, very far away as Israel suffered one nation after another, just walking all over them like a doormat. Where is God? He seems to be very far away. How come I'm suffering defeat? And yet, Isaiah brings them back to those very glorious days and he says, forget the former things. Do not dwell in them. These were glorious days, yes, and days when you could see God at work, but don't think about them because something new is coming your way. And if you keep looking back, you will not see what God is doing in your life. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Do you not perceive it can also be translated as do you not recognize it? Do you not recognize the hand of God at work? Sometimes during this pandemic and after, as we are all now returning to more or less the old new normal way of life, we begin to wonder where is God in all of this? And I know that many of us, we felt that God has abandoned us or went away somewhere. Why isn't He doing something? Why isn't He rescuing us? Where is He? And yet, one of the things we could see is the hand of God being with us throughout this whole time. And now that we are returning to work, it is very much a new beginning. Somehow, it is something like a reload or a reboot of our lives that God has guided us through. And this new thing that is coming up now, this new thing that is springing up in front of us, we need to recognize it as God's hand at work. If we keep looking back, we are going to miss what God is doing in our lives. Returning to fried chicken, Colonel Sanders is one of my favorite characters. And yes, he was a real person. And he lived in the southern part of the US. Now, while he was very famous for his fried chicken recipe, he only came by that recipe and started that business when he was over 60 years old. What was he doing until then? At the age of 5, he lost his father. Father died. Mother had to go to work. And by the age of 7, he had to take care of his siblings. By the age of 9, he learned to cook. Well, that's where it all came from. And he learned how to take care of his siblings and feed them and do all of that stuff. Then the mother remarried, and things at home became very difficult with the stepfather. So by the age of 12, he left home. And by 13, 14, he was working in different farms as a farmhand. That's not easy work. And as he was going through this kind of a life, he saved up some money. He remembered his passion for cooking and he opened a restaurant. 4 months later, the restaurant burned down. That's harsh. And then he saved up money again and he started another restaurant. And this one was situated right next to a highway so that the business from the highway would go into the shop. And right after he opened it, the highway was rerouted and the whole business collapsed. Can you imagine that? One hard hit after another. He did not have an easy life. Finally, way past 60, he went with his recipe for fried chicken and he went to restaurant after restaurant trying to sell a franchise of his recipe. Now, here's the thing, it wasn't an instant hit. 1009 restaurants turned him down. 1009. I wonder how many restaurants we would have gone to if we and then given up. How many people would it take to say no before we say, okay, that's it, I'm done. I cannot. My whole life has been a failure. But he chose not to look back on his past. He chose to try something new. And the 1010th restaurant picked up his franchise, and the rest, as they say, is fried chicken history. Now, you and I have got a God who redeems the past, gives strength for the present, and fills us with hope for the future. Don't let the past bog you down, and definitely don't let the present get you down. Do you not recognize it? That's the question that God is asking. I am doing a new thing. If we keep looking at the past, we will never recognize the hand of God. If we keep being tied down, bogged down, locked down by the past, then we will never see what God has in store for you and for me. See, I am doing a new thing, a new thing. And perhaps as you return to work or as you get on with life again after a few months, it seems like a new beginning. Maybe God is doing something new. Maybe we need to look up to Him and say, Lord, open my eyes that I may see. What is it that you are doing in my life? If God is closing so many doors, there must be a reason for it because He's doing something else. May this word be an encouragement to you as you go about your day. God bless.